Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as per usual, I'm going to be showing you how to do this beautiful set. But instead of talking about the set, I am actually going to do a little Q&A because I keep saying I'm going to do it on TikTok and I never do. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so for this specific video, I think I'm gonna focus more on my business and like how to do nails and stuff because I have like a mix of different questions. I get a lot of personal questions because my content on TikTok is completely different pretty much from this content. But at the end of the day, it is still just me, so I figured I could answer both sides of the coin on YouTube. So the first question I see is, can you apply my nails with gel? Short answer, I wouldn't. And it's not because you can't, because my nails are completely made out of gel. That's not the problem. The problem is that when I make a full set, they're usually opaque. So when you're going to cure your gel, like your wet gel, to apply my gel tips, they might not cure all the way. If that happens, you have wet gel under your nails, and that's never a good thing. I know a lot of people that do it, but if you notice that they do it, it's usually because their nails are sheer on top. So that means they're either clear or there's a super, super light color on top that the gel actually can penetrate through. So while it is possible, I would not recommend it if my nails are super opaque, or any nails really. I just want y'all to be safe and make sure that you do safe things. And personally, that's just, unless you're a professional, it's just not safe. Another question is, how do you keep your nails painted? Like if you just do a basic manicure. Honestly, it's all in your prep work. The better you do your prep, the longer your nails tend to last. So I always send alcohol pads, which do dehydrate your nails, which just basically means it removes all the oil and the dust and whatever else could be on your nails, so it's as clean as you can get it. But I also do use a nail dehydrator. I'll link it in the bio below, and if I forget or I can't find the link, it's going to be on my Amazon storefront, which is always linked below. On top of dehydrating, before you actually dehydrate, you're going to want to buff very lightly the tops of your nails. Our nails are typically too smooth for a base coat to actually grab onto. And that goes for any base coat. It could be a regular base coat, a gel base coat, any base coat. So you're going to buff the top layer of your nail very lightly, just so it has little tiny scratches for that, pretty much for it to seep into, the gel to seep into, as well as pushing back your cuticle skin. Sometimes skin grows onto your nail. You barely see it. It's very, very sheer, but that can cause lifting in the back. So you do want to try to scrape around your cuticle area and remove all of that skin gently. None of this should hurt. And yeah, I do that every single time I apply my nails, unless I don't need buff. Like if I have new growth, you're going to want to buff that, but don't over buff what you've already buffed over because it's already scratched up. There's really no point. It sounds like a lot. It really does now that I'm talking about it, but it's really only 3 steps. If you have any more questions or if you're still having problems, feel free to comment below and I will answer as best as I can about that. But I know a lot of people have a lot of trouble with actually keeping your polish on. I know. Another person asked if my press-ons would help nail biting. And honestly, I can't speak for everybody. I can only speak for me. And I don't know if you could see, but my thumb is all janky right now because I'm a picker. I have really bad anxiety, so when I get really anxious, I pick at my skin, and it's a horrible thing. It's hard to stop. I get it. And that is exactly why I try my best to keep my press-ons on, because I will pick and I will bite my nails until there's nothing there. So for me personally, yes, having a press-on, specifically a press-on or an acrylic on my nail, really does help me with my anxiety tics. Another commenter asked how long it takes to make a set and send them out. So this video is going to be on the longer side for me. I do a lot of editing to make them short because they typically take me about an hour to 2 hours, unless it's like a really easy, like solid set. That might take me just 30-40 minutes, maybe. With that being said, it's kind of like a virtual salon where you're in a line. So while the set or sets might only take me about 2 to 3 hours to make, I could have about 5 to 6 sets like I do right now to make. Then that would take me a couple days or a few days, depending on how busy I am. I usually try to like cut off the salon purchases and all that for everybody if I get up to 10 sets, because that's when it'll take me about a week to finish everybody's sets. Once I get to the cutoff where I know I'm going to take a while, it's usually going to take me about a week to ship. I have certain days that I ship just so everybody gets, you know, their order in a decent time. So me personally, I ship on Tuesdays and Sundays. Unless I'm already in town doing something and I have packages done, then I can ship them early. But normally my shipping times are 2 to 3 days apart, just so everybody gets their sets at a decent time. So in total, I guess it takes about 2 weeks to get them shipped and done and all that. Yeah, I hope that answered that question. I kind of blabbed a little. Somebody else said, I love your content. Thank you. And they want to know, how long do they last if your hands are in water a lot? Oh gosh, honestly, probably about 2.5 weeks to 2 weeks. I'm going to be real honest with you. If your hands are super, super moist all the time, and I know from my own experience because I used to be a pedicurist, I still am. I'm just off right now because I have bibis, if you know that. And this goes for any extension. This also goes for acrylic and press-ons and gel X extensions. The extensions all around, they just don't last as long as they could normally if your hands are constantly being wet. And if they are, I highly encourage you to go get them checked a little more frequently than you normally would, just because you do not want wet hands in lifting. Greenies are horrible. They're not like the worst thing you could get. You also could get a fungal infection, but greenies are the most common issue with constantly wet hands. So I feel across the board, if you get extensions and your hands are constantly getting moistened and wet, you should definitely go to your salon or switch out your press-ons a little more often than you normally would if you weren't doing that. Okay, next question. Would you have advice for someone trying to learn how to do polygel nails? I love polygel nails. The best advice I could give if you are learning how to do polygel is just trial and error. You really have to learn how much pressure to apply when you are applying polygel. Polygel can be very soft sometimes, depending on the brand. And you're just not going to want to apply too much pressure to that because they'll squish, they'll get too thin on the nail, and they'll just break off. It's really just like pressure, trial and error. Personally, I love me some polygel. I really do. I think it is a great way to practice acrylic. If you want to get into acrylic, start there first because it doesn't cure until you want it to cure. And as long as it's a reputable brand, it's really not horrible for you to touch it. Also, just really do your research on that reputable brand. Some brands out there are just not very safe with their polygel, and they can give you contact dermatitis if it's a bad brand, like if it's a knockoff brand that's just trying to sell products. That's why I really like McCart's polygel personally, because I know that's a reputable brand. It's easy to get. It's on Amazon. I love their polishes. I love their polygel. Honestly, it's probably my top 5 brand to use in my top 5. If you want to know my top 5 brands for my small business and for my professional use on actual clients, let me know because I am very picky. I've played with a decent amount of polishes in my career thus far, and I definitely have opinions on some of the brands I've used. The next question isn't really a question, more of a comment that I do want to address. And they said, I love acrylics, but I hate how they wreck my nails. Honestly, I'm gonna be straight up, I do not like acrylic. I just hate the smell. I hate how messy it can be. I'm just not a fan, especially with Polygel and Gel X coming out. Honestly, I feel like acrylic is gonna become obsolete sooner rather than later, but that's just my personal opinion. Acrylic gets a terrible reputation for ruining your nails, but I'm gonna be straight up with you, it's not the acrylic. It's either from people ripping them off, which you shouldn't do. Myself included, am being yelled at right now about ripping your nails off. Don't do that. Or wherever you're going is using the incorrect acrylic to basically save a few bucks. I call them chop shops. If you've seen me on TikTok, you know what a chop shop is. Basically, they buy bucket loads of dental acrylic, which is much cheaper than actual nail acrylic, and they use that to make your nails. Now, that doesn't sound horrible when I say it, but dental acrylic is extremely dangerous on your nails. It is not meant to be put on your skin, on your nails, none of that. Dental acrylic will actually eat your natural nail, which is why people are like, why are my nails so thin and brittle after acrylic? That's probably why. If you go to somebody that actually is a good nail tech or a nail artist, because most artists are the ones you want to go to for like bomb nails, you will notice that your nails are not super thin once you really start going to her and your nails have grown out and she's soaking them off, or he, sorry. If they're soaking it off correctly and they're actually doing correct nail prep, they're not grinding it down every single time you come to the salon, because you really don't have to do that every single time. So already drilled or ground down nail. You don't have to go over and over and over, because it doesn't grow back once you've ground it down. You will notice that your nails are not brittle anymore if you decide to properly take them off. Okay, off my soapbox about that. On to the next. The next one is, how do I figure out the sizes? Honestly, the best way to do that is to order a nail sizing kit from me first if you want to order a full set, or if you do plan to be a long-term client. I always recommend that first, because you will get the perfect fit. They will look just like salon quality nails. But I also understand that some people don't want to buy the sizing kit, and that's fine as long as you're prepared to not have the best looking or perfect fit. And in that case, I actually do have a way you measure it. It's already on my YouTube channel. I will put it in the description box below. But basically, you take a tape measure and you measure your one side of the nail to the other side of the nail. It will be somewhat accurate, but not all the way accurate, if that makes sense. So from there, I will pick the nail size that would most likely fit you the best. Another way that I'm still experimenting on, because it's kind of new, is you send me a picture with your hands flat on a surface with a coin next to them. I don't hate this way of measuring. It's still not my favorite. The sizing kit is always going to be my favorite, because it's just, you are guaranteed to get a perfect fit. But I'm not against the picture thing. It's okay. I'm still kind of learning, kind of testing it out. It's a little bit of trial and error with everything. And since this is new, I'm not fully committed to having that be on my website as a way to size your nails. It's just my personal opinion. And I already kind of said this is kind of personal, but it also kind of leaks into my business a little bit. And that is, do I work in a shop anymore, or am I just a housewife? So no, I do not work in a shop anymore at the moment. If you are new here, I just had a baby a couple months ago. And for me and my husband and the economy, it is just better that I stay home. Also, my baby will not take a bottle. He's fully breastfed, so I'm not sure how my boss manager would like if I brought my child with me. Short answer, no, I am not in a salon right now. I do think I will go back after my babies are older and in school. But right now, because of the economy and he's fully breastfed and I just had him, no, I am not in a salon. However, I do have my small business, which basically is like a online salon. I'm pretty much back to fully working as if I was in a salon. So if I'm being honest, nothing has fully changed besides I get to have my baby and do my work at home. And honestly, I can't thank y'all enough for that. It is literally such a blessing that I can still help my family with money as well as take care of my baby's needs. It's just incredible that I have this opportunity, and I can't thank y'all enough for it. I really can't. Even if you are just a subscriber or you follow me on TikTok, it really super does help. You don't even know. But yeah, I hope that answered the question. Okay, next question. Somebody asked, where do I get my plastic tips from? Several different vendors, and they are actually not plastic. None of my tips are plastic. They are full gel extensions. So I can say one of my vendors is actually McCart. I keep saying I love McCart. I'm serious. I love McCart. They are actually where I get my long coffin tips and my extra long coffin tips. Okay. Somebody asked about the best polish brands again. I think I'll do a whole different video on that actually, because I kind of want y'all to see the pros and the cons to my polishes that I have used. Some polishes, they just don't like other polishes, and it's really annoying to get like a whole collection of a polish and it turns out that they don't like that base coat that's not their base coat, or they don't like the top coat that's not their top coat. Super annoying. I'm also going to do a video on that new glue, I say that very loosely, glue gel, the hard glue gel thing that you can roll between your fingers. Yeah, I'm going to do a video about that too pretty soon. I've had quite a few questions pop up about that one. Honestly, I just don't like how I see these brands that make it, how they're pushing it, because they make it seem so easy and it just comes off just nicely whenever you want it to. Baby, no. No, absolutely not. It's not like that at all. Like, it's okay to use, but it's not like a magic pill like they're trying to push it out to be. But as for this video, that's it. I'll be answering more personal questions next video. And I know we didn't talk about this set at all pretty much, but it is available right now as pre-made as you see it on Etsy. It will be linked below. And yeah, I'll see you next time, guys. Make sure to subscribe. Bye.